You are in for an interesting ride.
Hello and welcome to another ET Newsroom interview. This time we're still staying with the EKLECTIA album theme, that one of its kind, the most unique compilation album featuring experiences, I think, in the world, with contributions from those in Canada, America, and of course, the UK. My guest today is from Sedona. She is Devara Thunderbeat, and I think I might just have got that name correctly spoken. And Devara is in Sedona, Arizona, another magical place where she's been discovering a lot of magical things, and she's going to share that shortly. Her piece on the album is called Galactic Voyage, and I am sure we're going to find out a little bit more about her voyage, her journey, which involves ETs and much more. Enjoy.
Hi, Joanne. It's Devara. I know everyone
Devara.
gets it wrong. Devara, like it means the light of the sun.
Well, how beautiful, because you certainly are wonderful.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you. I feel like I'm there in England with you.
Well, lovely. Well, I hope that one day I'll be able to put on some concert, conference, whatever, on the EKLECTIA Volume 1 team, and we will have you over here. So that's all in my mindset, along with the book. And now the last time we had an interview was way back in, 2013. It was the Ammach in America, and you were with Katie Kelly, and we heard some great stuff there. But I would love to hear some of the story you told us there, because this is a fresh interview, and for you to tell us the latest thing, including your book and conferences.
Where do I begin? So much is going on. My book is called Look Up, My Encounters with ETs and Angels. There we go, nice and clear. It's all my ET stories since I was the age of 4. What happened, I was playing in the driveway, broad daylight, and a ship came over. It was cloaked, I call them ships, okay? UFOs, ships, and it was cloaked in a cloud. And it was pulling me up. Like I said, I was 4 years old. As they were pulling me up, my mom ran out of the house trying to catch me, and they pulled her up too. So that's where it begins. And I always wondered what happened that day. They brought me back and everything was fine. I didn't remember. I remembered coming back. I was actually tumbling in the middle of the air, and I was going to hit the driveway. I was going to hit my head on the driveway, and I said, oh no, what am I going to do? So I said, I need to land on my hands, otherwise I'm going to hurt myself. I'm saying this to myself, and I spun really fast all of a sudden when I said that, and landed on my hands, and my cat was there and jumped 10 feet out of the air. So I must have came out of nowhere, right? My mom runs out of the house going, where have you been? I was ready to call the police. I've been looking all over for you. So they must have brought her back too. Well, 20 years later, I got a regression with Dolores Cannon, a lovely, powerful woman that found out everything that what happened. They brought me into the ship. They put me on a table, and all these rooms, every room was a different color. It was all lit up in these beautiful colors. And then they put me in this one room and shined golden light onto me and said, your name is Flying Eagle with Many Wings. And I said, what? I said, I'm half Native American. So I said, that sounds Native American. So I asked my uncle, which is a shaman, Chakra Journey, and I said, they called me a name, Flying Eagle with Many Wings. He goes, where do you think we get our names from? We get them from the star people. And I said, wow, all right. So then there was other regressions that she put me through, and what they did was reminded me my mission. They were my star family, and they're from Sirius A. All right. So they work with color, light, sound. They must be musicians, but I'm actually a sound healer. Also, I work with color, light, sound, the chakras, the 7 colors of the rainbow. Do lots of sound healings for people, and it came in so naturally. So it must be my knowledge from the star family.
It's such an amazing scenario that of your mum seeing her little girlie being taken up, did she actually grab onto you, like onto your legs? Were you that far up in the air, or what happened with that?
I was pretty far up in the air, and then she was trying to catch me, and they pulled her up too. And she didn't remember. She remembered about 15 years later. She did remember. She, without a regression, she's like, "Oh my God, what was that God that picked us up?" She said.
But did they give her some specific information about them?
Yes, they used to come visit her too when they came to visit me, because they visited me many, many, many times throughout my life. And when they brought me in 2013, they brought me to Sirius A in a ship. There's a couple parts of the story, but talking about my mom, I asked if my mom was there. She was already passed in 2013. She passed in 2009. So 2013, I was asking all kinds of questions when I got there and the planet. And I said, well, what about my mom? And she came in and she was full of golden light with pink golden light. And she said to me, the only reason I came to Earth was to bring you in.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I cried. I was crying. Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I actually was going to say, it makes me feel quite emotional too. That's amazing. And do you think that was actually your mum as opposed to,
Oh, yeah.
they talk about screen images and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely my mom.
Do you folks talk to one another about that event?
Well, this is what she used to say when I was like 5, 6, and 7 years old. She said, I want to go home. I said, you're already home, Mom. She goes, no, home. She would always say that. And she would always say, why are people so mean on this planet? She would say that when I was very young, all the time. Tell her, you're already home. She goes, no, home. So she said the only reason she came was to bring me in. She didn't like it here.
It's a tough call. It is. And what about the rest of your family? I don't know whether, other parent members or siblings, if you have them, or even further extended cousins. Was there any link with them, with the Star family?
Well, I know I had at 7 years old. It does awaken, I guess they say it awakens your awareness. 7 years old, I knew me and my father were in a past life together, and we were both Native American Indians. Now, I asked about him. He's not from Sirius. I'm not sure where he's from, but what's interesting, my dog, Sheba, I had her for 16 years. I actually asked about Sheba, and they said, she's a commander. I said, dogs are commanders? They said, yes, they are commanders, and she is from Sirius A. And I had a vision of her for 6 weeks before I got her. I didn't even want a dog. So my dog just passed away, and I said, I cannot handle another dog. And this vision kept coming, her face, her name, everything. And it was so powerful that I got into my car, drove around the neighborhood, rolled the window down and said, Sheba, where are you? And I'm going, what am I, crazy? I know all the dogs in the neighborhood. I don't know any dog named Sheba. So I said, stop this vision now, I said, because it was 8 weeks of, it was constantly like right in my face. And so as soon as I asked to stop, it stopped. So a couple weeks later, a friend of mine comes over and she goes, my friends are moving. Can you come help us? And I said, sure. So I go to their place. I walk up these stairs. This 6-month-old puppy named Sheba runs down the stairway, and they're going, Sheba, get up here. I said, Sheba, get up there. Now I erased it from my memory, so I didn't put the 2 and 2 together at that moment. I said, Sheba, get up there. I said, I get upstairs, and they said, how did the dog get up here? I said, I just told her to go upstairs. She goes, that dog does not listen to anybody. I said, well, she listened to me. And then I'm not still putting the 2 and 2 together. And then all of a sudden they said, well, we have to get rid of the dog because we're moving and they don't allow dogs there. And something came through me and said, I'll take the dog. And I went, why did I just say that? And I said, what is the dog's name again? Sheba. I went, oh, and all the memory came back. And it was the dog I had 8 weeks of this vision on. She's from Sirius A. She's a commander.
What kind of, I just have to ask, because I'm actually a self-confessed dogaholic.
Oh, good.
What kind of a doggy was she?
Dog star. She was a Labrador Rottweiler mix, but she looked like kind of almost like a Doberman Pinscher. She very Egyptian. extremely Egyptian, those long legs, and she would lay like that on the ground, like a black Anubis dog, you know.
And that's news to me. I've never heard of animals in that regard. As a commander, then, is she still in dog form, or has she morphed into more humanoid features, or do you know?
Well, I don't know, because I asked about her and she said, "Oh, she's gone. She's working. She's a commander." I didn't ask if she was still a dog, but she was
Wow.
Thunderdog, because she would go outside when the thunder would happen. She would go outside. It was her favorite time, and direct the thunder. She actually did. She would run after the thunder, bark at it, maneuver it, and then and then it would start raining, and I said, "Sheba, get in the house," and she would look at me. She goes, "What are you, crazy? This is my time." Most dogs go under the bed when it thunders. I go, "That is Thunderdog." So she was pretty much a very powerful commander in her own way, you know. I didn't have time really to ask more questions. I asked so many different questions when it was there. But another thing that's really interesting, well, first of all, they live in Sirius A, I'm talking about, not Sirius B. A lot of people talk about Sirius B. That is more a watery, denser planet. Dolphins, whales, aquatic beings. Yes, there is mermaids and mermen. Yes, and they all come kind of from that area. Sirius C is where the Dogon people talk about. That's where they said they're from. And Sirius A is the sun, and they do live inside the sun. I know it's hard to believe. It's not what we think it is. It's not this fiery thing. So they brought me up in this portal, and it took 15 minutes to get to Earth to Sirius A. How fast is that? That's pretty quick. Huh? And they were transferring me into another ship to go inside the sun. And this triangle-headed being, he was purple. If anybody remembers the ones that Corey Good talk about, the golden ones, they're very, I don't know, 15 feet tall or so. They look just like that, but they're shorter and they're purple. He was bouncing around me, and I'm going, "What is he doing?" And he goes, "He's looking for immoral implants. They're not allowed inside the sun." Now, a lot of people go, "Well, what is an immoral implant?" That's, tracking devices, anything that's going to maneuver you to be not who you're supposed to be, AI. They take the negative implants out of you. So we got into the sun, and I met all kinds of different beings. They're not, people always ask me too, what do they look like there? I said, there are a lot of different beings there. And on every planet, there's many different beings, just like Earth. Actually, Earth has a lot more variety than most, but usually they have a lot of varieties of different beings in every planet. And another thing that they told me was that most of the planets, especially in our solar system, they live inside the planets because it's too harsh to live on the surface of the planet. So that was another information they gave me. They said Earth is one of the rare ones that people live on the surface of the planet. Very rare. So that's why when you see all these other planets, "Oh, there's no life on them." Yeah, there is. They're inside.
Can you give a little bit more about these purple beings? I'm really not so familiar with them. I think Mike Oram, the English contactee, was talking about some very, very tall, their heads are the same shape as those French wimples from the nuns. And that's actually the shape of their head. I hadn't heard of those kind of folks before Mike Oram talked about them.
They're about 5 feet. The ones I met, drawing, of course. It's not a photograph. They don't allow cameras there. Well, I have a black and white photo of one in my book. There is golden ones and purple ones that I know of. There might be other colors. I just know of those two.
And were the golden ones, did they look anything like the purple ones?
Exactly. Exactly like them, but shorter. That's all. The 5 foot compared to, let's say, 14 feet. Yeah.
Who's 14 feet?
As the golden ones.
Oh, they're very, very tall. Okay. Did they find any negative implants?
They didn't say. They said if they do, they take them out immediately.
I'm assuming, and just stop me if I'm wrong or tell me differently, that would be in astral form that you would have been on the planet?
Definitely, because it's 6D. They told me it's 6 density. It's a high etheric realm. So there's no denseness of the physical body there. But everyone looks physical when you see everybody. yeah, everybody's plain as day. It's clear. You can touch things, or you can feel them. You can smell. You can feel the floor when you're walking. I mean, they brought me instantly from the ship into a building. So I guess we parked inside of a building. I'm not sure what it's like outside there. It brought me into the headquarters of the ship. It was round. And the first thing I saw was it was a walkway, and there was these pink beings. They looked kind of like they were pink beings with big eyes, but they were pink, and they kind of looked like grays, the same shape, but they were pink, and they had beautiful emotions. You could feel the love, instantly feel the love, and the denseness of everything was gone. Was no anxiety, no fear, no heaviness, and there's pure love there. I can really feel the love there. And they were looking at me, and they're going like, looking at me like I was ET, of course. And I go, what are they doing? They go, a lot of them remember you and haven't seen you for eons. And I said, really? They said they were just happy to see you. And I'm like, really?
Very exciting. Like, it's going to see your other family. And did they give you a tour around, or were you there for some specific work or teaching?
I was doing just answering a lot of my questions. They did show me a screen of what the Earth looks like to them. And they showed me this planet was full of brown smoke. They said it is a polluted planet. And actually, they said that they have cleaned it up, especially in the 60s. It was really bad. 60s, 70s, 80s. It was very, very toxic. They said they didn't clean up the planet, it would have been a dead planet. So, but they said it's still polluted, and we keep an eye on it. We don't interfere with, the people there. It's a free will zone. So we don't do that, but if we make sure that you don't destroy the planet. And they actually told me that they stopped the nuclear missiles. They've been doing that for eons, they said. That they don't talk about time.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so they dismantle them. They said it's not just them that do it. They said the Arcturians also that dismantle. They said they would make sure you kids don't blow yourself up.
I know, kids got the matches. Oh my goodness. I mean, what do you do? I mean, oh Lord. I mean, we're a dangerous lot, or some others are.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Yeah, they said this is like a library here, and it's a beautiful planet, one of the most beautiful planets in the galaxy, they said. And make sure don't blow yourself up like Meldak did. They talked to me about Meldak, which was a planet between Mars and Jupiter, and it's our asteroid belt. That was a planet, and it blew itself up. There was actually the ancient history. A lot of people don't know this. The ancient history. There was 2 continents, Vader, and I always forget the name of the other one. I think it starts with the M. 2 continents, and there was 2 rulers. One was Marduk, that you hear about, Sumerian, and the other one was Lucifer. Yeah, Marduk was on the planet visiting, and what happened was there was a nuclear leak, and it was a poison was going all over Lucifer's side of the planet, and it was making everyone deranged, including Lucifer. So he was a high fifth, shining, loving being, and then the poison from the chemicals from the nuclear waste, or whatever you call it, deranged him and the people, and it started going around the planet. And like I said, Marduk was on a mission, and he was on Earth for a while with 15 men. He had no women. It's a long story short here. They literally watched their planet blow up when they were on Earth.
It's very interesting because one of the things I did is train as a regression therapist, and it's a great toolbox for me. I had this, I think he was Latin American gentleman, come to see me, and not interested in the UFO thing at all, but had this recurring nightmare, and the recurring nightmare was that he was in a human body now, but in the dream, he saw himself as what he was describing I would recognize as a grey, saying that he had taken human form. I mean, he didn't know this consciously. This was coming out through the regression work. As they had blown their planet up, and he was like a refugee taking a human body. And I'm really not quite sure of the technicality of souls with greys and humans, and how even that can work. Obviously, there's some mechanism which allows the dovetailing somehow. Very
Yeah.
interesting indeed.
Yeah. So what happened, it was a really red luminous planet, and when it exploded, it dusted Mars. Mars was not originally red. It was so potent that it dusted Mars, and all the lines, and Jupiter was a lot bigger. The Meldak was about the size of Earth. Okay. So they said that the red lines on Jupiter are actually the remnants of the dust from the explosion from Meldak. To me, that was very interesting. Lucifer became very deranged, and he was pissed off. Okay. He was very mad at Marduk because he survived. And he actually blamed Marduk, thinking Marduk did this intentionally when he did not. So he died, but he's in spirit form, and the Orions, he went to the Orions. Here's another interesting thing that blew me away. I found out that he went to the Orions, the negative Orions, and they said, we'll help you mess him up. We'll help you talk bad about Marduk. So anything negative you hear about Marduk is really from Lucifer. Really liked Lucifer because his deranged mind, and just liked him. And they called him his only begotten son, not the words for Jesus. When I heard that when I was very young about Jesus is the only begotten son, I said, well, if we're all one, how can he be the only one begotten son? No, they were talking about Lucifer and Orion, and they wanted to mix everything up. Disinformation, that sound familiar? Down on the planet. He was very jealous of Marduk's survival. He was saying that he's raping women. That was not true. He had 15 men, and they said, oh my God, how are we going to keep our bloodline going, our DNA? So the women actually were honored. They were very graceful, and they helped build them buildings. They were higher advanced technology than what was going on in the planet at the time. They were building all these people there, and claimed, the Mesopotamia area as their home.
So do you have a time frame for this event?
I'm thinking I haven't narrowed it down. I'm working on that. A lot of information has been coming in. I've been downloading a lot of information about there was 2 floods. The one 6,000 years ago, I just got that timeline. And about 12,500 years ago, that was the Atlantean flood. So I'm putting all these pieces together because my spirit guides want me to write my next book. This information will be in it. So I got to get the information correct. So I'm still working on that.
So what about just your music? So let's just go back to what the Sirius A folks told you about your mission on this planet.
They said that about sound healing, working with color, light, sound, and to remember that, to help people raise their frequency, to wake up, raise their vibration. And once you raise your vibration, then your awareness expands,
Yes, absolutely. Did they give you any instructions about frequencies to use, or was it really left to you as a journey of discovery?
Kind of left to me. It was kind of like the knowledge was embedded. It was just remembering. And I had some help with the angels. That's why my book is called My Encounters with ETs and Angels. In 1997, I was overnight in the Great Pyramid, and I was doing ceremony, and actually they asked me to bring my drum to activate the pyramid. And they said, it's been dormant for eons. And I said, okay, I'm on the mission. So they would come in here and there and tell me things, and I'm always excited about it. So activated the pyramid, and then right after that, Archangel Gabriel came in, and he goes, color, light, sound. 7 is a sacred number. 7 is a sacred number. And he kept repeating this over and over and over again. I go, he's talking about the 7 chakras. He's telling me there's an activational tone for each chakra. Now this is in 1997, there wasn't really any chakra CDs out there, or activational chakra CDs that I know of. And I said, oh my God, I'm going to go home and write a CD, a chakra CD. And on the way on the plane over to Egypt, I said, I want to write, my next CD is going to be something with the word journey. So I go, when he was telling me about the chakras and the activational tones, I said, that's it. Chakra Journey. So that's what came. And then when I got home, he actually helped me. He came to my house and helped me with the tones for each chakra.
Oh, well, do tell us a little bit more about some of your musical work, because on the EKLECTIA album, we've got Voyager. Musical CDs, are they all instrumental?
most of them are instrumental because they're activational and journey music. So they're all really sound healing, even though, let's say, the Mayan CD is very tribal but galactic at the end. And what I do is I go to sacred sites and then come home and write a CD immediately. So from the energies there, I download, and it just comes out instantly. Like I go to Egypt, I've written 2 CDs. From Egypt was that Chakra Journey, the Chakra Journey CD. But then I wrote a Egyptian CD, actually won 5 major music awards. 5. Yeah.
How fantastic is that?
Yeah, and got 14 solo CDs out. I keep forgetting. I have to look at my own like chart to go, okay, what else did I do? Only because I've done so much in 23 years, by the way. I just say they're all timeless. They are timeless.
Yes, I think that with EKLECTIA too, just because that was released in 2018, but with the demise of my dear associate who was going to start flying with the PR side of things, I just had to shelve that for a while and regroup. It is equally timeless, and I'm looking forward to doing volume 2, 3, and just continuing, because I think this is going to be like a stepping stone energetically as well.
What did Edgar Casey say? Music will be the medicine of the future. Sound will be the medicine of the future. They're starting to get it. I mean, a little bit at a time. Some of these doctors are like, oh, these frequencies, look what it does here,
It's actually nothing new. We've had the Royal Raymond Rife frequency, and I used to know a gentleman by the name of Peter Guy Manners, no longer with us either, who worked with cymatics and sound and healing, and I was able to have an experience of that, and the incredible speed with which my at that time sprained wrist healed and the pain diminished, almost gone in one session.
I've had that with my Chakra Journey CD testimonies, where a lady came to me. She was like, for 6 months, she was trying everything, chiropractors, doctors. She had this back pain that she could not get rid of. And she had 1 session with me, and she goes, it's gone. I said, well, keep in touch with me, see how long that lasts. She contacted me for months and said, it's still gone from 1 session with the Chakra Journey. And I don't know everything that it does, but people have to tell me, because how do you know?
And what did she do? Was it literally just sitting there with headphones on listening to that?
No, I did a sound healing on her with the tuning forks. I actually did some Reiki on her. I went through the chakras. I worked the color light sound, which I work with the chakras, each tone of the chakras, and I go through each chakra. It's about an hour session, one-on-one. The tones and the music, it just releases a lot of anxiety, fear, and pain. And a lot of times anxiety and fear create pain in your body.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. From my work, I understand that, and for myself. But I think that's really exciting. So you do one-to-one sessions, and people book you for that kind of treatment?
Yeah, they have to be in person.
Of course.
Yeah, I worked on the internet, and just the sounds. I need high quality sounds, and computers can't really do that. So they have to be in person. But what I do over Skype is my 22 golden light DNA activations. They're a lifetime activation, and I embed 22 golden light codes into you. And it's actually from another angel that came to me and initiated me and told me that this was my work to do. Also was Archangel Metatron. And it's from the Keys of Enoch, which is J.J. Hurtak. And he said, my number is 202-2030. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was studying the Keys of Enoch at that time. And I opened to the book and I went, oh my, those numbers are in this book. And it's all about 5 to 7 pages of all about the 22 DNA, RNA, golden light codes. And I went, okay. So now I've been doing that for 15 years. Miraculous things have happened with that. It just, there's a whole list of things that it does. Remember who you are, why are you here? It helps you bring in your DNA, the knowledge that you've lost from past lives, and to remember a lot of your ancient knowledge or just your past knowledge, and your awareness expands. Your body, I repair your damaged DNA, because everyone has it from bad water, bad food, bad air. The list goes on and on and on. But you can always go to my website, thunderbeat.com, and get the whole download of what I do in that one session. And like I said, I can do that all over the world, which I do. A lot of people from Australia, Netherlands, England, they contact me all the time. So I can do that through the internet. So that's wonderful. I perform, we do a lot of music. That's why I started Sedona Cosmic Awakening in Sedona, Arizona. And it's definitely high dimensional, high vibe. It's about ET experiencers. And I have a lot of music throughout the conference. This year I have David Icke. This is April 22nd, 23rd, 2023. And I got Paul Wallace. 12 different speakers. I got lots of activations happening, 5D activations, raising your frequency. Love for everybody to come. I'm halfway sold out, so you got to get your tickets soon.
Oh, that's exciting stuff. That's absolutely great. And it's what we need, especially on the planet at this time. I thank you for doing all of that, because it makes a difference. I absolutely know that.
We also have night vision every night with my friend John Polk. He's got a dozen of the military, the night vision glasses. This is our 7th year, by the way. I just get emails like after the conference, oh my God, I'm still floating in the cloud 9 after the conference. It just raises my vibration. I'm just so happy, and I just love hearing that.
Thank you for putting your energies behind that. I know what it takes. So tell us about your book.
I have 4 books.
Okay.
I'm busy like you, girl. Well, we got the Look Up book, all right, with my encounters with ETs and angels. I have a Chakra Journey, Awakening the Chakra book, yeah, and I have a drumming book, Rhythms from Around the World, and it comes with the soundtrack that it plays everything for you and guides you through the whole book, so you can hear the rhythms. That was actually my first book, because I am a full set drummer and a hand drummer. That's my main instrument, but I also play keyboards. And my latest book is I have found ancient Egypt here in Sedona. It's like a library here in Sedona. They found different cultures, not just Egypt. I found Kuan Yin and Ganesh. I found Thoth. I have found 14 major gods and goddesses here. There's no coincidence. It's just like, and they're all detailed, and they're hidden in plain sight. I've had people like Drum Below that lives here. I don't know if you know Drum Below. He lives here and he works with Osiris. I showed him Osiris. He goes, I've been here 22 years and never saw that. And he goes, that is definitely Osiris. Some of them are so big that they're the size of mountains that people don't look at mountains like that. But I've been there since I'm Native American. I was always taught very young. Our teachings are, when you see a face in the rocks, those are the ancient ones and the ancient knowledge. So I look at rocks a whole different way than most people. And now I do a drive tour on that, and people go, oh my God, I will never look at rocks the same again. And it's beautiful. Opening of an awareness.
Another pathway into the information as well, isn't it? You know of Stephen and Ewan Strong in Australia. They are dad and son team who have been seeing ancient Egypt in Australia. It really is incredible. They would be amazing speakers. Stephen and Evan Strong, they also talk about that the Egyptians came out of Australia, which is, whoever heard of that? It's amazing material.
I would love to see that. I have not seen that.
They're just beautiful souls.
Have to
Working all
them.
The time with the indigenous peoples as well, and they come from great heart, great respect. And of course, they're right on, because the authorities are really making their life difficult, or have done, to ridiculous degrees.
Yes, that's definitely has to be worldwide, because I have done my research too before I put the book out, to put this information in the book, because they found it in the Grand Canyon, which is 2 hours north of Sedona. They found it in Lake Powell in Utah, which is 3 hours north. They found Egyptian hieroglyphs 3 hours north of Sedona. And they found hieroglyphs in Phoenix, which is 2 hours south of Sedona. And they found in Mexico, huge amounts of ancient carvings on rocks of ancient Egypt and other alien figures, actually. But they have like Mott or Isis in a space helmet, and they're saying these are 30,000 years old. Amazing. It's just still blowing me away.
Yes, and again, just with the Australian folks again, I mean, there's hieroglyphs and everything there, and they've been trying to blow it off as a student prank. It's clearly not, because they're not just in this one location that they try how the stones speak and how they communicate. And it's deeply, deeply powerful stuff. We need to be very grateful that they've kept the stories. You think we know a thing or two? Oh, forget it.
Well, I have it on Amazon as a PDF. You download the PDF. It's Faces. It's called Sedona Faces in the Rocks and Ancient Egypt Found in Sedona. It's all the same book, because I found out mailing to England or Australia or anywhere over from United States is $50 for the book. It's crazy just for the mailing. So the PDF being downloaded for $15, on Amazon under Thunderbeat, and it's mind-blowing. It's been out for a little less than a year, and I look at it and it still blows my mind. Still.
Are you still in regular contact with your Sirius A family?
Well, the last time I was in contact was probably 2015. I know they're there. I've actually had a contact with the Andromedans, and I've had my latest contact is with the Arcturians 8 months ago. That's pretty soon. So they came in and they were beautiful, loving, and the ETs are just beautiful. Really, they high vibe of pure love. And they said, anything you need, just ask us.
Oh, that's interesting. So have they given you a new mission? I guess that's what I want.
Yeah, bringing back the ancient knowledge, you're saying, is what I've been working on for a couple of years now. And that new book, it's actually going to be called, things change. It's not out yet, but I know the timelines for Moses. And it's actually the Egyptian version of the Exodus, which is totally different than what they said in the Bible. Matter of fact, in Egypt, the last 10 Commandments movie that came out, they banned it in Egypt. Egypt says, no, we will not have that movie because it is all lies. So I've got the download. I actually had a past life. I know this sounds pretty wild, but I was a high priestess. My sister was Hatshepsut. I remember when I went to the temple, all this memory started coming back. I used to teach the children in the courtyard, and one of the children was Moses. How about that? So that's the next book with all that information with the Sumerians. I don't know how I'm going to put it together, but I've already started writing it. So
we don't know how many layers we bring back. Peter Nelson, who's also on the EKLECTIA album, who left us sadly far too early last September 2022. But he was talking in the short interview that I've got with him about how he met this unified soul. And he said what that really means is that someone comes back with the totality of all of their lives. And he said he could communicate across the strata of lives into the one person and to not go crazy and to be in balance. He was the most loving, incredible person, another Canadian. And he was just saying that he was bringing the totality of all of those lives in aggregate form this time, and I've been told that I'm a priestess from Lemuria, and I've been in Egypt, and I think we've all been everywhere because we're here back to bring in some of those frequencies, whether we're conscious of them or not. They're embedded in our own DNA. I don't know. I know I've had a Red Indian life as a squaw. I remember that very clearly. Why not? I think this is amazing, and I think it's time when these layers are perhaps gently making themselves known to us in our consciousness without kicking us off center or off kilter. We hear a lot these days about mental health or mental illness. Of course, we've got some challenges at the hands of certain factions, but also then on this other layer of life, there is all of this material I'm referencing, and also that has its impact. and it needs to be coalesced very gently so it doesn't disrupt the functioning.
Well, excellent. Yes. It seems like my first past life reading or session, I should say, I cleared some old things, and then it seemed to open up the doorway for what I'm supposed to remember. That's what I kind of feel, which is a good thing, you know, my ancient knowledge from Egypt and the Mayans. I mean, the CDs I wrote came out like, oh, here's the Jaguar song. Here's this. I just knew everything. And I really feel that was part of my past life. But so it's a helpful thing I think it's a helpful thing to remember your past lives. And
once I got into the regression work, there was the story unfolded and talked me through the past memory coming back, and I could heal, because I believe we can heal ourselves, but sometimes we need something to hang the awareness on, so we're not just floating about, flailing around, thinking, how the heck do I do this? For me, it was
right,
to have a bit of structure, which was the system, which was the methodology.
right. Well, no, it makes I get so excited about my missions, you know, that keeps me going. I said, if I don't have any missions, what am I going to do? I'm gonna be bored, you know.
Yeah, you know, you are so right. I feel it this side too, with the doorway that EKLECTIA will be, hopefully, in the world, if I have my way, and all of you guys in being involved as well. So it is exciting, and I think there is just so much more that's positive to come down the pipe. I'm ignoring the other stuff. I'm not giving any heed to that, because the light is so powerful. It's amazing.
Well, people can listen to all my music for free, actually, at my download site. It's called, imagine this name, SiriusStargate.com, spelled like the planet, Sirius, Sirius, Stargate.com. And you can download my music there, and audiobook with the look up my encounters with ETs and angels on there. And that has 11 songs on it. Can't put the songs in a book, but I got it on my audiobook, so it correlates with when I wrote the songs and the journey together. It's really cool.
No, that sounds absolutely wonderful. Well, as we're coming up to the end of our time together, is there anything else that you'd like us all to know about before we say goodbye?
Yes, come to the conference. It's April 22nd, 23rd, 2023, and you can get tickets online at Sedona Cosmic Awakening.com, or you can go to thunderbeat.com and just click on events, and you can get your tickets there. But it's definitely life-changing. Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for being a contributor on EKLECTIA Volume 1, and I can't wait for you to be, I hope, on Volume 2 as well. So we'll kick off Volume 1 down the road, and we'll get that into people's minds and hearts, and then we can really rock and roll. And who knows, maybe we'll have our beautiful concerts as well, and with our friends coming to visit.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Joanne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a beautiful, loving being, and she is on a mission too.
Yeah, it's true. I need to gather the team, but I'm doing it. I can tell you, wild horses have a difficult time stopping me. But thank you for all and everything that you do. I know how important it is to keep this energy going. And listen, I'm not saying I don't fall off the ladder now and again. I certainly do. But the thing is getting back up again. So that's my message to everybody. Don't worry if you fall down or have little failures. That's just a lesson. Get back up, because we're all ready here to support you. Bless you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Take care.